Hey everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the top 5 best water type PALs in Palworld's 1.0 update. And water type PALs are the second most prevalent after the very popular dark type PALs, and there's a lot of cool ability. Like Crojiro here lets you jump up way high into the sky, which can be extremely useful for exploration. Or Finsider here, cute little guy, can turn your attacks into the water type. While PALs like Ophidia can change your attack types and make them apply soaked, which is more so a buff for electric types, but since there are so many water types, I am going to start with some honorable mentions. Now, fishing in this game is frustrating. Gloopy makes this a lot easier as the capture gauge will decrease 35% more slower. You do want to use all the PALs needed whenever you go fishing, so that would be using Gloopy. I'd also recommend having Jelliette here, which will increase the items obtained by fishing by 95%. Gelroy will increase those by salvage by 95%, as well as going with something like Solmora Lux here can also make it so that when you catch PALs, they're going to be much better and have more passives. And then using the Whaleascas here, you can make it so that the capture gauge will be increased by 14%, and this also counts with Whaleasca Ignis, although they are not a water type. I'm also going to give honorable mentions to Turticle here, which will reduce the weight of ore by 100%, so it'll weigh nothing in your inventory, which is huge, as well as Turticle Terra, which is one of the highest selling PALs in the game. Mud Guild and this one sell for a lot, so you can actually farm these and just sell them off, but this will make it so that sulfur and coal at max stacks don't cost anything in your inventory. And also a very powerful ability, which will make it so that ground damage to enemy weak points is increased by 100%, so that is only if you're attacking an electric type PAL, but a very nice passive. I also want to quickly give a mention to Mud Guild. There is a farm that I posted in my video where you can post a video, I'll have linked in the comments, where you can just farm these for a ton of gold because they sell for a lot of it. Don't put these in a ranch, just breed them and sell them. Gobfin is also going to get an honorable mention for increasing the player's attack by 20%. You can use Gobfin and Gobfin Ignis alongside Solen for 120% player damage buff. And also, honorable mention to Penking here, which will make it so that fire type PALs drop 80% more items, paired with Phalaris Aqua here, which will also increase that by 80%. These will stack. One interesting thing for the Aqua types, this is the least common typing for PALs. There's only 4 Aquas in the game with things like the Phalaris and Suzaku. And also Bronze Cherry, which is another honorable mention here, giving you a 55% chance of picking up an alpha whenever you pick up an egg. And this stacks with Bronze Cherry Normal, which has a 45%, so that every time you pick up an egg, it will be an alpha when you go to hatch it. And for the purposes of showcase, I'm going to make sure that all the PALs have the same passives, with the Demon God giving a 30% attack boost, Serenity for a 10%, Musclehead for 30%, and Immortality for 15%. I like to roll with this passive setup just to maximize stats and overall survivability. Now for 5th place, we actually have a tie. Gangler is a very powerful PAL here, but we also have Gangler, Ignis, Gangler, and I'm also going to give a three-way tie, I guess, for Jormuntide. Now, Jormuntide was one of the best water types in the game, but there's actually a lot of really good water types that got added in the 1.0 update, which brought the power scaling to a little bit of a weird point. What Jormuntide does best at this point is dealing with soaked damage. So this is better for an electric style build because whenever you soak an enemy, they take double electric damage. So he is amazing on electric setups, but the big thing with Jormuntide here, again, is this passive, and it also comes with its own special abilities. So with the Slither Slam, this is an attack that will end up dealing double damage. With the Rush Forwards, it is a little bit hard to land if you're riding on him, but it is a really good move overall because of its large area of effect. So this is what the Slither Slam looks like. So it is going to rush forwards here. It does actually a lot of damage, doubling up the amount of damage, and it rushes forwards in that straight line like you see there. So it's not that hard to land, but it is a little bit of a challenge at times. But I don't think it is as strong as Gangler Ignis. Now, if we look at the stats here, Gangler Ignis has a higher attack and defense stat. With the setup here, this is 4632, this is 4979. Gangler Ignis is also stronger than Gangler, and by nature, fire type is an amazing type because it makes them strong against ice and grass types as well. Now, the nice thing about this is, unfortunately, it doesn't have any really super powerful moves. It has the Scorch and Lantern Sweep as its only unique move, but it will learn a lot of different ones from fruits. Its biggest feature is the increased damage, and it'll also increase its movement speed by 25% for every other fire or water type in the party. Now, it isn't the fastest swimming PAL in the game. There's actually a lot of other ones that are faster, but it is a very serviceable PAL because it is going to be one that you want to kind of build around and have your team. The Scorching Lantern Sweep is also a really cool move. You have this huge area of effect sweeping attack. So yeah, this is a very solid PAL. I think it's a strong one, but it's not strong enough to go into our top 4. with our 4th place best pal being Ophidia. Now, Ophidia is great because it's its own very strong pal, and it can do a Millennia attack from Elden Ring. Super cool. It creates this lotus flower exploding out, and then out comes Ophidia. One of the coolest pals in general just because of his appearance, but its partner skill here is where it really shines with the Glorious Mist. Now, this is similar to Yormintide, where Soaked will make it so that pals take double electric damage, meaning that you can run something like a Prickster Lux setup here, which will change your attack type to electric and increase your attack damage by 50%. So you apply Soaked and deal electric damage, and it's boosted, and again it's doubled, so that 50% is a lot higher. You can also use things like Beacon or Hell Zephyr Lux to change your type over to electric, but if you really wanted to buff up water type pals, oddly enough it's to use Slowat and Snock in particular with the Electrify. Electrify makes pals take double water damage, which is kind of weird how it works, but yeah, it makes sense. Soak is for more so the electric builds, but since this is a water typing setup, this pal is insane. It also comes with some really strong moves. Wind Burst is one of the best strong single target damage attacks. Stroke of Vine absolutely destroys the final boss of the game and many other large pals. Torrential Blast being another really good move, so it does come with a lot of good moves that naturally. But you can see here, if we were to compare the attack stats here, it doesn't have as high of an attack as Gangler Ignis. However, it makes up for that with that Soaked ability and just how many builds it enables. And it also comes again with the Lotus Bloom being a very cool skill, and also Grass and Water typing being very strong. Good against like Anubis if you're going against him. But yeah, the really big thing is using this and then also using a pal that changes your attack type to electric, and you can just melt pretty much everything in the game because you'll make them weak to your damage type, and then yeah, you just destroy them with it. Another thing with Soak too is that it'll slow the enemy down. They take half fire damage, but just don't use fire damage, and it actually makes them easier to catch. So soaking enemies is a good thing, and that makes Ophidia a very powerful pal. I just love this waterfall bloom type attack. It is so cool. And next up is Panthalus. Now, you might have expected this pal to be in first place, but you're going to understand why it's not in a moment here. But one awesome thing about Panthalus, it's technically the fastest mount. Now, it doesn't look like it's going very fast, obviously because of its large size here. But one thing that sets it apart from every other mount is if you're doing a long haul exploration, it does not have stamina. Where other pals will have to rest up and get their stamina back, Panthalus doesn't care about that. Panthalus will let you just continually run around no matter what, and yeah, it doesn't look like it's going very fast, but it is. So yeah, it is an incredible pal for exploration. It also has some insane attacks, Aqua Tornado being a very powerful one that's going to suck up enemies inside of it here, so it is a very strong attack here. You got those blasting away, making this a really good one against a large group of enemies, but also against large enemies themselves. Now what Panthalus does good is massive health, and his defense stat is amazing. Now, if we're to compare Panthalus here to, let's say, Gangler, who came in 5th place, you can see Gangler has 300 more attack with the exact same passives, made sure that I removed the legend and all that so that they have the exact same ones here. Yeah, this has a higher stat, although Panthalus has double the health and way higher defense, so its survivability outweighs it. And again, kind of similar to how it is technically faster in other mounts because it doesn't run out of stamina, it doesn't run out of damage because it doesn't run out and it won't die. So yeah, it is a very strong pal, but if we're looking for a pure offensive, kill things as quickly as possible, there are better options, surprisingly. One other thing I do want to quickly mention about using Panthalus is setting it to a base makes it just fly around the sky, and if you have any raids coming, Panthalus will destroy them by himself. So yeah, good boy Kyogre. But it is pretty hungry for unique moves because it's got Tidal Charge, Aqua Blade, Creeping Bubbles, Bubble Rain, Maelstrom, Grand Beach, Aqua Tornado. Not super practical to use, but we have Tidal Charge here, so I'll show you what that one looks like. So you go with the Whale attack, creates the wave. These are all fighting attacks you would have faced off against it. It also has the Maelstrom here, so this will create those Whirlpool Torrents. The Grand Beach, which using here now, we'll call in this and do another attack where it just flops on top of it. So yeah, this can be a pretty devastating attack because yeah, hit things in a very large area of effect. And it's destroying these trees here. So yeah, if you want to actually go clean up and destroy a bunch of trees, this would be the way to do it. But it also has the Aqua Blade attack here, so going ahead with the Aqua Blade, it's going to create those, you know that attack. Creeping Bubbles, as the name implies, is going to create bubbles that haunt you down and find the target, and that's the other annoying attack. And then Bubble Rain here, which is the final attack that we'll be showcasing here. It has so many unique ones. Xenolord also has a lot of unique spells, so yeah, it is really cool. And funny enough, one of the best pals to fight against Panthelus is Neptilius here. Now, Neptilius is the fastest water mount in the game, so once you get swimming, you can go flying. Fun fact, Chillet is the second fastest mount in water in this game, so if you don't have this fella here, you can go with a Chillet. There's the Panthelus boss arena right there. So yeah, Neptilius is great, especially if you get the Sky Marcher passive for this, because you can then jump up in the air 3 times, and it gets some pretty good air. Now, what's cool about this pal is that when it's fighting alongside you, it can also attack with you too. So I'll showcase that. It's probably not going to try and attack them. We'll command it. There we go. We got the spears. It's a cool one because, yeah, it's going to shoot off those spears at pals. It does have a lot of really good attacks. It just blasted away with that there. That was the Thalassonic laser attack. And yeah, it does have a lot of really good abilities here. So yeah, you can see many different water type attacks. Its special one there is really good. But the thing is, it's very quick at moving, and you'd also have those water spheres that'll attack alongside you. It's got a great watering stat here. And you can see we have 55k attack. If we were to compare this to, let's say, Panthelus, you can see the difference. Neptilius has a lot less defense and health again, but Panthelus is just the survivability king. I was thinking about putting Panthelus first because of that, but if we're looking at pure numbers and the amount of damage it can output, the Neptilius with Immortality will end up doing a bit more because Immortality is just so powerful. So yeah, both of these are great, but I give the edge to Neptilius. So then what's the strongest water type in Palworld 1.0? Well, there's a new pal that got added to the game, Xiaolong. Now, at a glance, it does have a lower attack than Neptilius. You see 51 versus the 55k. Now, the thing is, it scales up for every other dragon type in your party. Dragon types being some of the best in the game. Dark type is the most common, so having a lot of counters to the most common type is nice. But this also comes with a lot of unique moves. It comes with a Hydra Charge, Celestial Vortex. This is the one that's going to suck everyone up into a single area. It is incredible. It just makes things so much easier. And you also have the Azure Draco Flare as well. But if we fill our party with dragon types, you see here, its attack ends up being a lot higher than our Neptilius. So yeah, 58-62 there with the setup that I mentioned at the start of the video. Now, this is a very powerful pal. It's dragon and water type. And again, great moveset here. It also kind of looks like Shenron from Dragon Ball Z, but it's also a flyable mount. It looks really cool because of how long it is. I guess it also kind of looks like Rayquaza there. Hydra Charge, that's its special ability here, so you can rush forwards in a huge area of effect. Great for mobility, but the Celestial Vortex is the move that is like just so crazy powerful on this, because with this, it's just going to suck up enemies in an area of effect. So yeah, you can use this here, and if you saw how far it pulled it from, that is crazy. Yeah, it yoinks people from everywhere. We got Nightwing there. That is hilarious. So yeah, that's strange. And it also has the Azure Draco Flare ability here. You just be mindful that you are touching the ground. It's really hard to tell if you're touching the ground on certain mounts like this. Just make sure your stamina is recovering there. And here's the Azure Draco Flare, big burn in the area of effect. And the nice thing about this attack here is that whenever you're using that, it'll apply a burn. So if you're using a burn style build, this can actually, he fits on a lot of different setups. He also learns he learns every type of move, but that Hydra Charge there, just one of my favorite attacks, because if you need a bit of extra mobility, you can go zoom and fly right across the map just like that, while also taking out any enemies in that area. If you're using a certain setup, like with a Maraith, for example, you can just keep using that as you take out enemies, and then also Serenity, increasing the cooldown on that. So yeah, you can get to spamming this ability. And that's why I think Xiaolong is the strongest water type in Palworld 1.0 update. Let me know your favorite water type though in the comments. I try to cover every single one that has something beneficial, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one.